So, Travis and Jerry, good to see you guys again. Travis, on Monday you proposed a resolution to convert the city from nonpartisan to partisan elections. Can you explain your thought process on why you've done that?
It comes down to a transparency issue. It's something that the voters want to know, and we ought to be able to tell them. Currently, we're not allowed to put it on our signs. We're not allowed to identify with the party and run on a ticket like that. And it really just boils down to if the voters want this information. It's as simple as that.
Jerry, to my knowledge, I don't think any city council member has ever proposed something like this. I'm curious, as his predecessor, what are your thoughts on converting Bella Vista to a partisan election?
It was never brought up to the council, but I did discuss it with the city attorney in the past, which time I was informed that all it required was just a resolution by the council to change from nonpartisan to partisan. As Travis pointed out, the main reason for partisan elections is transparency. You have a problem with identifying who your political party is. Communist Party is a political party. There's a variety of political parties. Probably the two prominent parties in Northwest Arkansas are Republican and Democrat. Republican majority, Democrat, and so much in the past. That being the transparency thing is we have so many people that have moved here from California, Illinois, other places where they basically are escaping the political environment there. And this hasn't been an issue in the past because Northwest Arkansas has been pretty much a Republican-dominated area for a number of years. But the demographics are changing. As I said, we got so many people that have moved here from California. And I've talked to those people from California, and whenever I meet someone that's moved from another area, I always ask them, why did you come to Northwest Arkansas? And I had one person tell me, well, number one, we'd never been to Northwest Arkansas, we'd never been to Bella Vista, but we did some research and found out it was a red state. So by God, that's where we were going, is to a red state, because we've had all the California we can handle. And that's the same thing that you get from a lot of California people. A lot of good California people have moved here, and we just hope that they didn't bring their politics from California with them. On top of that, it streamlines the election process.
Yeah. If I could, just to piggyback off of something that Jerry had articulated, another thing that I think it will do is eliminate somebody being elected by a very small percentage of the voters in Benton County. I truly believe that this will eliminate runoff elections. I believe that almost every case that I could imagine in every instance that I came up with in my mind for this, the candidate would not be elected by a runoff race. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, look at the history in Bella Vista and how small voters turned out for runoff races. We're talking under 2,000 people decided our fate in Bella Vista for runoff elections. Another big pushback I get, Chris, is, well, we won't be able to work together then. And I say that's as far from the truth as I could possibly imagine, because I personally know where everybody I work with on the city council stands. The voters don't, and I have no problem working with it.
Yeah, I agree. Some of the commentary on Monday's meeting was, well, it causes a division, what street is Democrat, and what street's Republican. Those aren't really city issues, and it's not really about the work that has to be done. I still feel it's about transparency, and if you're embarrassed to hang your hat on the party because you're afraid of not getting elected, and you say, well, these aren't partisan issues in the city, then why did the city under the last city council with Doug Fowler focus on Republican money, Republican PACs, donating to candidates, and try to enforce that candidates have earlier disclosure? So they can't really say that we don't do partisan stuff in the city when we have directly seen attacks on yourself, Mr. Snow, for donating to a candidate that another city council member, Mayor Pro Tem, of course, didn't like. We've seen that type of behavior. So I think given everything that we've seen, now is the time for transparency. Tell me something. I want to know your thoughts on this question. So the people of Bella Vista rely on the city council to do what's in the best interest of them. So why is the city council not voting on this resolution in their own best interest? Because I think the majority of people want to know how your political ideological values align with their interests as a member of this community.
Yeah, that's right, Chris. And nobody could accuse me right now of doing this in my own best interest, because I'm being attacked from every angle. They're the loud party. They're the ones that are attacking me. This is not benefiting me at all, but I do believe that a large portion of our elected city council members don't want this to go forward because of their own self-interest, like you had indicated. I think their camouflage would come off, so to speak, and they don't want that to happen. But we owe it to the people who elected us to show them where our values are and show them the way that we're going to vote and the areas that we lean to. Another big pushback that I got from citizens was, well, we just need to do research on the candidates and figure it out for ourselves instead of going with party lines. That's hard to do. We're busy. We have a lot of stuff going on. And when we don't have work or extracurricular activities with our kids, maybe we're taking a break or enjoying the lakes or a golf course that we have here. I don't expect people to become an expert in every candidate in every race, especially in these smaller ones like a city council race. Because let's face it, a lot of people don't see that as important, but I do believe that these races are just as important, if not more impactful, to the lives of Bella Vistans than the bigger races.
Something else the mayor proposed in his beginning of his first term, he proposed that election process change from citywide to ward-wise, that you would campaign in that particular ward rather than the whole city. And the same individuals that are opposing this issue also oppose that issue, to have to just campaign in their particular ward. They wanted to be able to campaign citywide. Well, we've changed a lot. We've gone from 15,000 people to probably bumping 40,000 now. And that's difficult for a person to campaign citywide. And when it just makes the campaign process so much simpler and so much easier on the candidates, if they can do that from a ward standpoint rather than the whole city.
What happens next? Obviously, we know that work session and reactions of your counterparts at the city council is still going to be read next Monday. And it's going to go to a vote, right?
Yeah. Or
you get a second.
So somebody will have to make a motion to approve this, and that motion would be to vote, on it. You can make a motion to approve it without voting for it. I think I'm saying that right. Nonetheless, if nobody seconds it, then it will be dead for lack of second. And that's a possibility here. That's a real possibility.
Well, I think it'd be wise for everybody to know that they need to email their city council member if they're in favor of this.
Yeah. I'll be honest, Chris, I've had upwards of 50 emails in opposition to this and only a handful in favor of this. But I look at it like this. If I go out to a restaurant and have dinner tonight and I have terrible service and the food was nasty, you're probably going to hear about it from me, right? But if I go out tonight and I have a good dinner and good service, I'm going to leave a good tip and go home, and you'll probably never hear about it. And I think that's the same thing that's happening right now. The majority of voters, I believe, they want to know this information. There's just a small percentage of people that are adamantly opposed to this for whatever reason. I think the more conservative voters in Bella Vista, which I believe when the primaries come, you'll see 60 to 70% people pull a Republican card. Maybe more, maybe less, I don't know. But the majority of Bella Vista wants to know this information, and I believe that wholeheartedly.
The thought I had a while ago that it's made a circle and come back now, and that is the division politics that we have now. In the past city councils, there was not really a big division. Everybody pretty much thought along the same lines. I think everybody, their political affiliation was pretty much along the same lines. But we have seen so much division in politics now. It's like whatever one party wants, the other one doesn't want. They're going to fight against it. And that is another reason for transparency, and I think that would go a long way toward eliminating that division politics that we see so much of now. Fighting, cruel, nasty comments about people and their things that they've done or the things that they want to do, attack after attack. And yeah, I think that would eliminate that. I think that would go a long ways toward solving that problem.
So do you feel that Democrats and Republican city council can actually work together to get past their differences from party values and actually focus on the people's work? Or do you think that being split on this, like the mural issue, kind of creates that division?
Yeah, I think that you're always going to have people that disagree with each other. Even if, Chris, we don't have to imagine that you and I agree on everything, because we don't. And when we don't agree, we do it in a respectful manner. And that's what I would ask for moving forward, and that's what I hope that the folks on the Bentonville City Council do. But politics sometimes brings out the worst in people, and we know that. We've seen that. And that's going to continue to happen regardless of whether there's a party affiliation or not. Just like you said, Chris, you hit it the nail on the head with that one. Is there are bona fide issues happening in other cities right now that are absolutely 100% partisan. And we see that in Bella Vista a lot, but it's hidden. And I say that because overregulation, oh my gosh, it's my worst. Even one of the council members the other day said, what's your problem with having to have a license for this and a permit for that? Well, it's overregulation. That's their property. It's their rights. And I stand for that. And that's what people want. And that's what people deserve. They deserve to have somebody that will stand up for them and their rights, and we want to keep our taxes low.
I think our city government has got to the point where there isn't a permit they don't like. I mean, an opportunity for another permit, hey, we're ready, bring it on.
Yeah, I'm afraid we'll eventually regulate the value out of our properties here. I really mean that. And look, just because you lean one way or the other, you don't always fit the mold for what your party. Okay, so I did want to do that as a caveat to that is that I don't always agree with or believe the same thing that the party I'm closely affiliated with does, right? I'm a Republican, and I'm proud to say that, and I'm a conservative, and I don't agree with them 100% of the time. It's just a good indicator of how I'm going to vote, and I have a strong track record of voting against regulation, and I want to remove some of the red tape, and we had those discussions at the work session the other night, talking about a business license. There's already a legal requirement in place for a business to open up in Bella Vista, and that's by way of a certificate of occupancy after the fire department does an inspection. They want to check to make sure you have the drop bars and emergency exit lights and make sure you have enough fire extinguishers, and then you get a certificate of occupancy. If you don't do that, you're illegally operating a business. They said, well, we're going to add another regulation on, another law in the way of a license, a business license.
Yet you already have to get registered with the county as a business and the state as a business.
Yeah, you already have to go through all these steps. So they're going to fix the problem by adding another step. And I guarantee you, I just know I see it coming. They're going to say, hey, all these business licenses are getting expensive. We have staff time is using 10, 15, 20 hours a week. We're going to have to attach a fee to this. That's coming. I hope that you remember this video when that happens because I told you so. And I don't support that, There's already a mechanism in place that makes them do a process to legally operate a business. And they said they're not following that. Okay, so if we add another one, they can still not follow that. I just think down the road it's going to come with undesired consequences.
I just wanted to point out, I have heard that, streets are not partisan, or that pothole is not partisan.
Right.
I've yet to understand what's they got to do with anything. That particular comment, I just don't understand what the purpose of it was. Just that they're trying to establish there. What does that mean anyway? A street is not partisan or a pothole is not partisan.
I've yet to figure it out.
Well, I appreciate you gentlemen's time, and I look forward to airing this on the podcast.
Yeah, we should talk more.
We should talk more.